Hi crafty friends, it's Lori with a craft party. Wanted to get with you today and we're going to do a page in our Lacey junk journal. I'm going to set it off to the side for right now. We will be using Bramblewood Blooms, add-on kit, junk journal, and I want to say ephemera pack. I'm not sure, but we're using 3 of her packs. It's by Ink and Page Journals. She's on Etsy under Ink and Page Journals. I am not affiliated with Debbie in any way. I just really enjoy her kits, and she does a wonderful job. Stop on over to her Etsy shop and see what she's done. We'll get started. First thing I want to do is get out my handy dandy cutter. And we're going to cut this down. First, we better cut the edges off. Makes it easier on me to cut these off first and then measure it out. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. It's kind of gloomy here in Ohio. It's been raining off and on all day. And we want to cut this at 7.5 by 4. Okay. And then we are going to score it at, let's see, 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches is here. And I'm just going to use my handy dandy cutter as a scoreboard. So we've got that. I'm going to fold that up, except for, do I want it? And this is going to be a pocket, so we need to decide. I'm going to move my handy dandy cutter out of the way. We need to decide if we want this background showing here or if we want this background here showing. And I think I'd like it this way with the flowers showing. And I want to get out Fabri-Tac and put just a thin line on that 2.5 inch side on the left and on the right. Okay, and then we want to press that down, get out our towel. Okay, and I want to get out some lace. I've got some sitting here. And I'm going to cut it so it's wider than that 2.5. And I want my spatula, and I'm going to put a little bit of Fabri-Tac on here, not a lot, because I want to sew too. Okay, set it over there. And we put the lace on here. And I want to start the lace at the top where the pocket is. So see, this is the pocket, and I want the lace to start there. Okay, and I'll be right back. I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew all the way around. Okay, I'm back. I sewed all the way around in white. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to cut just the excess off the sides. Cut off these white threads. Okay, and now we have the pocket. Now I am going to get out the journal And I'm going to pull the page out that I want to use. Set the journal back off to the side. Okay, I wanted to use this side, so this is going to be a little different than what I was thinking. I've got some of this paper left over from when we cut this out. I've got a heart punch, but you can use square or rectangle also. And I'm going to punch out 2 hearts. Now you can punch out 4 and make it a little sturdier, but I think this should work pretty good. And we're going to hinge this onto our page. So I want to fold the hearts in half and try to get them as symmetrical as you can. So it's really important that it's half and half. Concentrating, trying to make sure I get this exactly where I want it. And I'm going to have mine with the flowers. This is, you want to think this through. I want my flowers to be on the outside. We're going to use these as the hinge. So I want to see the flower portion. I think it's a little more colorful than this side. So I think it gives it a little bit more dimension. And I am going to ink these up so you can tell that they're hearts. Okay. And while I've got the ink out, I think I'll ink up the outside edge of the card. Now you could quarter round if you wanted to do that. Okay. Like that. Then we want to put this down. Make sure your lace is at the bottom. We want to put this down so there's just maybe an 1/8 of an inch gap between the page and the pocket. That's what I want to call it. And I'm going to move it over just slightly so I'm more in camera frame for you. That looks good. Okay, we want this glue. I'm using Fabri-Tac. And we want to put glue on the entire heart, both sides of the heart. And then we're going to put that crease of the heart right down the center. So it's not really touching either the page or the pocket. And you need that there so it will hinge. Again, we want to do that a second time. And we want to again put it right on the crease, right on the opening, the 1/8 inch opening, so we have a hinge area there. And let that sit there and dry just a minute. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of my excess here with my towel. And then we fold it, and we've got us a pocket with a flip out. Make sure there's no glue on there that I'm setting my card on. And now we want to look for a card. I'll see about the junk journal. This is how I keep my kits separated now. so I can tell you where I got them from. This is Bramblewood Blooms, again, by Ink and Page Journals. This is her junk journal kit. And I'm looking for something that's going to fit down in here. That's really pretty, but we could cut it off if we need to. Nope, don't like that one. Ooh, I really like that. Let's trim that down and use that one. Get out the handy dandy trimmer, handy dandy cutter. Let's trim this down just a little bit. Set the trimmer off to the side and let's ink it up. I should have checked to see if it fit in there. Hopefully it does. If not, I'll have to trim it again and then ink it again. Nope, it fits in there perfect. Now we have a journaling card that's in our pocket. And now we need something to put here. So let's see if we can find something. We'll go ahead and keep looking in the junk journal kit. I cut them out and I don't remember now what was in here. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh, the books would be nice. A plant. How about the plant with the butterfly? That looks good. And we will ink these up. And ink up the butterfly. Okay, and let's find some words to use. I think one of these junk journal kits had words to them. Well, yes, here we go. Let's see what we can. How about wild blooms? Use my handy dandy cutter. Wild blooms is right there in the center, so we will use this to cut it. It'll make it a little bit less wonky. Sometimes when I cut freehand, I cut wonky. Okay, we've got that. We'll put the cutter off to the side. We'll ink the words up. And I do have a little tiny piece left over from another project that I think I am going to stick on the back of those words. We will go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and grab the Fabri-Tac. We'll put that there on the pocket. Glue up the words, and then I'm going to put the lace on the back of that. Okay, and I'm going to kind of edge that up to that. And then I'm going to just go ahead and stick the butterfly right here. I got a little too much glue on there, so I'm wiping some of it off, because I would like to make it so that the butterfly raises up a little bit, like this. Okay, and then there we have our page, Wild Blooms. It's got the flowers and the butterfly, the journaling card pocket, that flips out with our little heart tabs. And you can journal on the back side too. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this in our journal. Now we have a couple pages done in our Lacey journal. We've got the circle pocket. We've got this hinge with a pocket here and here and here. And then we've got this hinge with a pocket here and the heart tabs on the back. It was great working with you today. Thank you for stopping by. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hugs.